When shall we three meet again in the thunder, lightning, orange rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath.
There to meet with Macbeth.
I come, Grey Malkin.
Had it comes.
Anon.
Fair is foul and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that? He can report as seeming by his plight of that revolt in the new estate.
This is the sergeant, too. Like a good and hardy soldier fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend. Say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their heart. The merciless Macdonald, worthy to be a rebel, for to that the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him. From the western isles of Kerns and Gallowglasses is supplied, and fortune, on his damned quarrel smiling, showed like a rebel's war. But all's too weak, for brave Macbeth, disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, like valor's minion, carved out his passage till he faced the slave, which ne'er shook hands, nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chops, and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Oh, valiant cousin, worthy gentleman.
As whence the sun gives his reflection, shipwrecking storms and direful thunders break. So from that spring, whence comfort seemed to come, discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, mark. No sooner justice had, with valor armed, compelled those skipping kerns to trust their heels, but the Norwegian lord, surveying vantage, with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismayed not this our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
Yes, as sparrows eagles, or the hare the lion. If I say sooth, I must report. They were as cannons overcharged with double cracks, so they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe. Except they meant to bathe in reeking wounds, or else memorize another Golgotha. I cannot tell. But I am faint. My gashes cry for help.
So well thy wounds become thee as thy words. They smack of honor both. Go, get him surgeons. Who comes here?
Be worthy, Thane of Ross.
When haste looks through his eyes, so should he look as he to speak things strange.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners flap the sky, and fan our people cold. Norway himself, against terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict, till that, Bellona's bridegroom, lapped in proof, confronted him with self-comparison, point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit. And to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness.
That now, Sweno, Norway's king craves composition, nor would we deign burial of his men, till he disperse at St. Holm's End $10,000 for our general use.
No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go, pronounce his present death, and with his former title, greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, no Macbeth hath won.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Sister, where thou? A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and munched and munched and munched. Give me, quoth I, aroint thee, witch, the rump-fed Runyon cries. Her husband's to Aleppo gone, master of the tiger, but in a sieve I'll thither sail, and like a rat without a tail, I'll do, and I'll do. I'll give thee a wind. Thou art kind.
And I another.
I myself have all the other, and the very ports they blow, all the quarters that they know, I the shipman's card. I'll drain him dry as hay. Sleep shall neither night nor day hang upon his penthouse lid. He shall live a man forbid, Weary 7 nights, 9 times 9 shall he dwindle, peak and pine. Though his bark cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest-tossed. Look what I have.
Show me, show me.
Here I have a pilot's thumb, wrapped as homeward he did come.
A drum, Macbeth doth come.
The weird sisters hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus do go about, thrice to thine and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9.
Peace, the charms wound up.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
A forest called force. What are these?
So withered and so wild in their attire, but not like the inhabitants of the earth and yet are on it. Live you, that man may question? You seem to understand me. By each at once her choppy finger upon her skinny lips. You should be woman. Your beards forbid me to interpret that they are so.
Speak, if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis.
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor. All hail Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? In the name of truth, are you fantastical, or that which outwardly you show? My noble partner you greet with present grace and great prediction, which he seems wrapped withal. To me, you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow, and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail.
Hail.
Hail. Lesser than Macbeth, and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier. Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail.
Stay, you imperfect speakers. Tell me more. By sin of death I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this glass of leaf you stop our way with such prophetic grief. Speak, I charge you.
The earth has bubbles, as water does, and these are them. Hitherto they vanished.
Into the air, and what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. But they had stayed.
Are these things here as we do speak about? Or have we eaten of the insane root that takes reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings,
You shall be king.
and Thane of Cawdor too. What did not so?
You thyself sing tune and words. Who comes here?
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success. And when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' ranks, he finds thee in the stout Norwegian ranks. Nothing feared of what thyself didst make, strange images of death. As thick as tale came post with post, and everyone did bear thy praises in his kingdom's great defense. Everyone did come.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks, only to herald thee into his sight, not pay thee.
As for an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him, call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which addition, hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What, can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose. Whether he was combined with those of Norway, or did line the rebel with hidden help advantage, or that with both he labored in our country's wrack, I know not. But treasons confessed, capital and proved, have overthrown him.
Glamis, and the Thane of Cawdor too. The greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. You do not hope your children shall be pleased. Those who gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less for them.
That trusted home, mine and Cavalry to the crown, besides the Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange, and oftentimes, to win us to our heart, the instruments of darkness tell us truths, Win us with honest trifles that betrays the deepest consequences. Cousins, a word I pray you.
Two truths are told, as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am fain of Cotton. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion, whose horrid image doth unfix my hair, and make my seated heart knock out my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes on my single state of man, that function is smothered in surmise. And nothing is but what is not. If chance will have me king, why, chance may crown me without my stir. Come what come may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stand upon your leisure.
Give me a favor. My dull brain is wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered where every day I turn the leaf to read. Let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chanced, and at more time, the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts each to other.
Very gladly.
Till then enough. Come, friend.
Is execution done on Connor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they have not yet come back. But I spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly. He confessed his treasons, implored your highness pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life the kingdom might be. He died as one that had been studied in his death, and threw away the dearest thing he owed as to pure careless treasure.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He's a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. Oh, worthy cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now was heavy on me. Thou art so far before that the swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. But thou hadst less deserved, the proportion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than all can give.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your highness part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state, children in service, which do what they should, by doing everything safe toward your love and honor.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee, and will labor to make thee full grown. Noble Banquo, thou hast no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
Therefore, grow, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are nearest, know I will establish my estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name henceforth the Prince of Cumberland. But honor must not unaccompanied invest him only, but signs of nobleness, like stars, shall shine on all deservers. From hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger, and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Conrad.
The Prince of Cumberland? That is a step on which I must fall down, or else o'erleap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see.
True, noble Banquo, he is full so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him, whose care has gone before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman.
They met me in the day of success, and I've learned by the perfectest report that they have more in them than immortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air, into which they vanished. While I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me, and referred me by the coming on of time with Hail King that shalt be. This I have thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner in greatness, that thou may not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay this to thy heart, and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. Thou art too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. That wouldst thou highly, that wouldst thou wholly. Wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou'dst have great Glamis, and that which cries thus thou must do. Yet there's that which thou dost rather fear to do, then all wishes should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits into thine ear, and chastise thee with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have crowned thee withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say it. Is not thy master with him, who, were it so, would have informed for preparations?
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who almost dead for breath had scarcely more than could make up his message.
Give him tending, he brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse, who croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits who tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here. Fill me from the crown to the toe-top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctuous visitings of nature should shake my fell purpose, nor make peace between the effects in it. Come to my women's breasts and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substance you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, pall thee with the dullest smokes of hell, that my keen blade may not see the wound it makes, nor heaven cry through the blanket of darkness to cry, hold, hold. Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all-hail hereafter. Thy letter has transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And one goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book, wherein men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your hand, your eye, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that is coming must be provided for. You shall put tonight's great business into my dispatch, where for all our nights and days to come shall lead to solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air sweetly and nimbly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
This gust of summer, stem haunting Marlet does approve. My ages love masonry. In heaven's breath snows wooingly here. No jutting, buttress, nor coin of vintage, though this bird hath made its pendant bed and portrait cradle. Where most breed and haunt, I've observed. The air is delicate.
See, our honored hostess. The love that follows us sometimes through troubles, which we still think is love. Here and I shall teach you how you shall thank God healeth for your pains, and thank us for your troubles.
Our service ever, twice done, and then done double, we're poor in single business to contend against those honors deep and broad, wherewith your majesty loads our house. For those of old, and those later dignities heaped up to them, we rest your hermits.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels in purpose to be his purveyor. But he rides well, and his great love, sharp as a spur, hath brought him to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight.
Your servants ever have theirs themselves and what is theirs in compt, to make their audit at your highness's pleasure, still to return your own.
Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with this Circe's success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions, which being taught return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poison chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then, as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculty so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues shall plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity like a naked newborn babe striding the blast. Or heaven's cherubim, horsed upon the sightless queers of the air, shall blow this horrid deed in every eye. A tear shall drown the wind. I have no spurs to prick the sides of my intent, only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now? What news?
The king has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
No, you not, he has.
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in the newest class, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? And wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou a fear to be what thou art in act and valor, as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have what thou esteems the ornament of life, yet be a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not, wait upon I would, like the poor cat i' the adage?
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become a man, who dares do more is none.
What beast was it then that made you break this enterprise with me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. To be more than what ye were, you'd be much more the man. Nor time nor place did that adhere, and yet you would make both. Now they make themselves. Now their fitness now does unmake me. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, as it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from its boneless gums and dashed the brains out. Had I so sworn as you have, to have done this.
If we should fail...
We fail! But screw your courage to the sticking place, and we'll not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereby the rather shall his day's long journey soundly invite him, his two chamberlain will I, with wine wassail, so soundly convince that memory, the warder of the brave, should be a fume, and all receipt of reason a limbeck only. When in swinish sleep they lie as in a death, what not you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our grey quell?
Bring forth men, children only, for thy undaunted metal should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chambers, and use their very daggers that they have done it?
Who dare receive it other? When we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death.
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mark the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
How goes the night, boy?
I'm going to stop. I'm not going to call.
And she goes down at 12?
I take it as later, sir.
take my sword. There's husbandry in heaven. Their candles are out. Take thee that too. Heavy summons lies, like lead upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Martial powers restrain in me that cursed thought, that nature gives way in repose. Give me my sword. Who's there?
Friend,
What, sir? Not yet at rest? King's abed and hath been unusual pleasure. Send forth great and largest your oscils. This time as you greet your wife with all. Most kind hostess, shut out the measureless content.
being unprepared, our will became the servant to defect. Which else would we have wrought?
All's well. I dreamt last night of the weird sisters. To you they have shown some truth.
I think not of them. Yet, when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kind's leisure.
If you shall cleave to my consent, when 'tis, it shall make honor for you.
And so I lose none, if I keep my bosom franchise my liege's pick. I shall be counselor.
Good repose the while.
Thanks, sir. Delight to you.
Go bid thy mistress. When my drink is ready, she strike upon the bell. Get thee to bed. Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling, as to say? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain? I see thee still, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshallest me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the rest of the senses. Or else worth all the rest, I see thee still, and on thy blade and dudgeon, gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now o'er the one-half world, nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings, and withered murder, alarmed by the sentinel the wolf, whose howls his watch. Thus, with his stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravishing strides towards his design, moves like a ghost. Thou sure and firm said earth, hear not my steps which way they walk, for fear the very stones prate my whereabouts. And take the present horror from the time, which now suits with it. Whiles I threat he lives, words to the heat of deeds who cold breath gives. I go and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven, or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. That which hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark! Peace. 'Twas the owl that screeched, the fatal bellman who gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open. The surfeited rooms do lie mocking their charges of snores. I've drugged their possets such that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What? Home?
Alack, I'm afraid they have awaked, and 'tis not done. 'Tis the attempt and not the deed that confounds us. Hark, I laid their daggers ready, he could not miss them. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I would have done it.
have done the deed? Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl screech, the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
As you descended.
As I descended?
Right.
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbain.
This is a sorry sight.
Foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
There's one did laugh in his sleep, and one cried, murder, that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them. Yet they did say their prayers and address them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen the other, as they had seen me with the hangman's hands. Listening their fears, I could not say amen when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deep.
But wherefore could I not pronounce amen? I had most need of blessing, but amen stuck in my throat.
These things must not be thought about these ways. So we will go mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. The innocent sleep. Sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care. The death of each day's life. Sore labor's bath. Balm of hurt minds. Great nature's second course. Chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still it cried, sleep no more, to all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cador shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who thus cried? My worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain-sickly of things. Go, get some water, and wash this filthy witness from my hand. Why have you brought the daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go, carry them back, and smear the sleeping grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think what I have done. Look on it again, I dare not.
From purpose. Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If you do bleed, I shall gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? Thou wast with me when every noise appalls me. What hands are here? They pluck out mine eyes. The whole great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand. No, this my hand will rather the multitudinous seas incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy it is then. Your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark, more knocking. Get on your nightgown, lest occasion call and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Wake, Duncan, with thy knocking. I would thou couldst.
Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hell Gate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Here's a farmer who hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time, have napkins enough about you. Here, you'll sweat for it. Knock, knock, knock. Faith. Here's an equivocator who could swear in both scales against either scale, enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Come in, equivocator. Knock, knock, knock. Who are you? Here's an English tailor, come hither from stealing out of the French hose. Come in, tailor. Here you may roast your goose. Knock, knock, never a quiet. What are you? This place is too cold for hell. I'll double quarter it no further. I have thought to have let in some of every profession that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon, not. I pray you remember the quarter.
Was it so late, friend? How are you going to bed that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were carousing to the second cock, and drink, sir, is a great provoker of 3 things.
What 3 things does drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir, nose painting sleep, and urine. Lechery, sir, it provokes and it unprovokes. It provokes the desire, but it takes away their performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It makes him and it mars him, makes him stand to and not to stand to, sets him on and takes him off, persuades him and disheartens him. In conclusion, equivocates him and giving him the lie in a sleep, leaves him.
Think drink did give thee the lie last night.
That it did, sir, in the very throat of me. But I requited him for his lie, and I think, being too strong for him, though he took up my legs sometime in the night, I made shift to cast him.
Is thy master stirring? Our knocking has awaked him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy thane?
Not yet.
He did ask me to call time on him. I've almost slept the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know it is a joyful trouble to you, but yet 'tis one.
The labor we delight in physics of pain. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint so.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down, and lamentings were heard in the air. Strange screams of death and prophesying, with accents terrible, of dire combustion and confused events new hatched into the woeful time. The obscure word clamored the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverish and did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it.
Oh, horror! 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 Nor thought, nor tongue can conceive, nor name thee.
What's the
What is the
matter?
matter?
Confusion hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke open the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the building.
What is it you say? The life?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with the new organ. Bid me not to speak. See and then speak yourselves. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarm bell. Murder and treason. Banquo, Malcolm, Donalbain, awake! As if from your graves, rise up like sprites to countenance this horror. Ring the bell!
What's the business that such hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house?
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for one to hear, for it would murder as it fell. Oh, Banquo, Banquo, a royal father is murdered.
Too cruel anywhere. Your death I pray thee. Contradict thyself and say it's not so.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant there is nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace is dead, though wine of life is drawn, and the mere lees is left this vault to brag of.
What is amiss?
You are, and do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father is murdered. By whom?
Those of his chamber as deceived had done it. Their hands and faces badged with blood, and their daggers we found unwiped upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury, that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition of my violent love outrun the powers of reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, and his gashed stabs like a breach in nature where ruins waste to entrance. There the murderers, steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers unmerrily breached with gore. Who could refrain that had a heart of love, and in that heart the courage to make his love known?
Oh, me hands.
Look to the lady.
Why do we hold our tongues? That most may claim this argument for ours? What should be spoken here, where our fate, hid in an auger hole, may rush and seize us?
Let's away. Our tears are not yet brewed.
Nor the strong sorrow upon the foot of motion.
Look to the lady. And when we have our naked frailties hid, and suffer exposure, let us meet and gather, to question this most bloody piece of work, to know it further. Fear and scruple shake us, in the great hand of God I stand, and treasonous malice.
And so do I.
So all. Let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
Which will you do? Let's not consort with them. To be an unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does easy. All to England.
To Ireland, I. Our separated fortune shall keep us both the safer. Where we are, there's daggers in men's smiles. The near in blood, the nearer bloody.
This murderous shaft that shot hath not yet guided. The safest way is to avoid aim. Therefore, of course, and let us not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft which seals itself, and there's no mercy left.
But this sore night hath trifled former knowings.
Ha! Good father, thou seest the heavens, troubled with men's act, threatens his bloody stage. By the clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles his traveling way. Is it the night's predominance or the day's shame that does the face of earth in two, when living light should kiss it?
'Tis unnatural even like the deed that's done. On Tuesday last I saw a falcon, towering in her pride of place, was by a mousing owl, hawked at and killed.
And Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain.
You know, I heard tell that Duncan's horses ate each other.
How goes the world, sir, now?
Why? See you not?
Is it known who did this more than bloody deed?
Those that Macbeth hath slain.
Alas a day, what good could they pretend?
They were suborned, Malcolm and Dalbane, the king's two sons, stolen away and fled, but to put upon them suspicion of the deed.
Against nature still, thriftless ambition, that will raven up thine own life's means. Then 'tis the sovereignty that will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named and gone to Scone to be investigated.
Where is Duncan's body?
Carried to Comikill, to the storehouse of his predecessors and guardian of their bones.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin, I'll to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, I hope things are well done here. Adieu, lest our old road sit easier than our new.
Farewell, father.
God's benison go with you, and with those who make good of bad, and friend of foe.
Thou hast it now. King, Conor, Landis, all's weird when promised. And I fear thou hast played most foully for it. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, that I myself should become root and father of many kings. If some truth comes from them as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine. Why by the vertices on thee made good? May they not be my oracle as well, and set me up in hope? Hush. No more.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, 'twould be a gap in our great feasts, and all thing unbecoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are in this little time, forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon.
Aye, my good lord.
We should have else desired your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous in this day's council. But we'll take tomorrow. Is it far you ride?
As for my lords, will fill up the time twixt this and supper. Go not my horse the better. I must become a bar of the night for a dark hour or twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow, when therewithal we shall have cause of state craving us jointly. Hie you to horse. Adieu till you return at night. Ghost Fleance with you.
Aye, my good lord. Our time is called upon it.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. To make society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves till supper time alone. Well then, God be with you. Sir, a word with you. Attend those men our pleasure.
There, brother, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which should be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. There is none but he whose being I do fear, and under him my genius is rebuked. As it is said, Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they held him father to a line of kings, and upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my grip, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filed my mind. For them the gracious Duncan have I murdered, put rancors in the vessel of my peace, only for them, and mine eternal jewel given to the common enemy of man, for them to be kings, the seeds of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come fate into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Now go to the door, and stay there till we come. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well then, now have you considered of my speeches. Know that it was he in the times past which held you so under fortune, but you thought it an hour, innocent self. This I made good to you in our last conference. Passed in probation with you how you were born in hand, how crossed the instruments who wrought with them, and might to all things else with half a soul and to a notion craze say, thus did Banquo.
You made it known to us.
I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gospeled to pray for this good man and for his issue, whose heavy hand hath bowed you to the grave, and beggared yours forever?
We are men, my liege.
Aye, in the catalogue you go for men, as hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, shots, water rugs, and demi-wolves are clept all by the name of dogs. The valued file distinguishes the swift, the slow, the subtle, the housekeeper, the hunter, every one according to the gift which bounteous nature hath in him enclosed, whereby he does receive particular addition from the bill that writes them all alike, and so of men. Now, if you have a station in the file, not in the worst rank of manhood, say it, and I will put that business in your bosoms, whose execution takes your enemy oath, grapples you to the heart and love of us, who were our but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of this world hath so incensed that I am reckless what I do to spite the world.
And I another, so weary with disasters, tugged with fortune, that I would set my life on any chance to mend or be rid of.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life. And though I could with barefaced power sweep him from my sight and bid my will vouch it, yet I must not. For certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not drop, but wail his fall, who I myself struck down. And thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Though our lives...
Your spirit shine through you. Within this hour at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves. Acquaint you with the perfect spy the time, the moment on it, for it must be done to men. And something else from the past. Always thought that I require a clearness. And with him, to leave no rubs nor botches in the work, Fleon's his son that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves upon it. I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon you straight and abide with it. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight. If it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
Is Banquo gone from court?
Aye, madam, but returns again tonight.
Say to the king I would attend his leisure for a few words.
Madam, I will.
Not sad. All spent. Our desires got without content. But 'tis safer to be that which we destroy than by the destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies your companions making, thinking those thoughts which should indeed have died with them they've been gone. Things without all remedy should be left without regard. What's done is done.
We have scourged the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself, whilst our poor malice remains in danger of her former tooth. But let the frame of things disjoint. Both the worlds suffer ere we eat our meals in fear, and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we, to gain our peace, have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst, nor steel, nor poison, malice domestic, foreign levy. Nothing can touch him further.
Come on, gentle my lord, sleek o'er your rugged looks, and be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I live, and so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence both with eye and tongue, and safe the while we must lave our honors in these flattering streams, and make our faces visitors to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo and his fleance lives.
But in them nature's copy, not a turn.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable. Then be thou jocund. Here the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, here to black Hecate's summons. The shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums hath wrung night's yawning peal. There shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest child, to thou applaud. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand, cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens, and the crow makes wing to the rooky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, whilst night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelst at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So, prithee go with me.
But who did thee join with us? Macbeth.
He needs not our mistrust, since he delivers both our offices and what we have to do to the direction just.
Then stand with us, who must get glimmered in some streets of day. Now spurs a lady traveler apace to gain time in your approaching the subject of our watch. Hark, I hear horses.
Give us a light arrow! Then 'tis he. The rest that are within the note of expectation already are in court.
His horses go about.
Almost a mile, and he does usually. So all men do. From thence to the palace gate make it their walk.
A light! A light!
'Tis he.
It should be rain tonight.
Let it come down!
Oh, treachery! Fly and flames! Fly! Fly!
did strike out the light.
Was it not the way?
There's but one down. The sun is fled.
We have lost best half of our affair.
Well, let's away and say how much is done.
You know your own degrees. Sit down. At first and last, the hearty welcome.
Thanks, Your Majesty.
Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends. For my heart speaks, they are welcome.
See, they encounter thee with their heart's thanks. Both sides are even. Here, I'll sit in the midst. Be large in mirth, and none will drink a measure. The table round. There's blood upon that face.
'Tis Banquo's end.
'Tis better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut. That I do foreknow.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that did the like for fleance. If thou didst it, thou art the nonpareil.
Most royal sir, Lance had escaped.
Then comes my fit again. Had else been perfect, whole as the marble, founded as the rock, as broad and general as the casing air. But now I am combined, cribbed, confined, bound into saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo safe.
I'm a good lord, safe in a ditch he bides with 20 trenched gashes on his head, the least a death to nature.
Thanks for that. There the grown serpent hides. The worm that fled hath nature that in time will venom breathe. No teeth for the third. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast for soul that is not often vouched. Well, 'tis making, 'tis given with welcome. To feed were best at home. From thence the sauce to meat were ceremony. The meeting were bare without it.
Sweet remembrance, sir. Good digestion, quite on appetite, and health on both.
Okay, please, Your Highness, sit.
Here have we now our country's honor roofed, with a graced person of our Banquo present, whom may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity from his chance.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please, Your Highness, to grace us with your royal company.
The table's full.
Here's a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is it that moves Your Highness?
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me.
Gentlemen, rise. His Highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends. This is a thing of custom. I do apologize. Sit. The moment is but momentary. Upon a thought, he will again be well. Sit, feed, regard him not. A man?
Aye, and a bold one that dare look on that, which might appall the devil.
Proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. All these flaws and starts, impostors to true fear, were but as a women's story at a winter's fire, authorized by her grandam. Shame itself. Why do you make such faces? When all is done, you look but on a stool.
Prithee, see there. Behold, look. Thou, how say you? If thou canst nod, speak too. If charnel house is in our graves, send those that we bury back. A monument shall be moss of kites.
What quite unmanned in your folly?
If I stand here, I saw him.
Aye, for shame.
Blood hath been shed ere now in the olden time. Ere humane statute hath purged the gentle wheel. Aye, and since 2 murders have been performed, too terrible for the ear, the time has been when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. But now they rise again, with 20 mortal murders on their crowns, and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My royal lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friend. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all. And I'll sit down. Give me some wine. Fill full. I drink to the general joy of the table, and to our dear friend Banquo whom we miss. But he were here. To all in him we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties in the pledge.
Avaunt! And quit my sight! Let the earth hide thee! Let them from mirrorless thy blood is cold! Thou hast no speculation in those eyes, which thou dost glare with.
Think of this, but as a thing of custom, for 'tis no other, though it spoils the pleasure of the times.
What man dare I dare? Approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the Hyrcan tiger, or the armed rhinoceros. Take any shape but that, and my firm nerve shall never tremble. Or be alive again, and dare me to the desert with thy sword? If trembling I inhabit then, protest me the baby of a girl. Hence, horrible shadow, on your mockery hence. Why so being gone, I am a man again. Pray you, sit still.
You have displaced the mirth, broken the good meaning, and most admired disorder.
Can such things be, and overcome us like a summer's cloud, without our special wonder? You make me strange even to the disposition that I owe, and now I think you can behold such sights, and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks, when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
Pray, speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night. Better help to you.
A kind good night to all.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move, and trees to speak. Augurs and understood relations have by maggot pies and choughs and rooks brought forth the secrets man of blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds of morning, which is which?
How sayst thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did not you send for him?
I hear it by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them but in his house I keep a servant for you. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know why the worst means the worst. For mine own good all causes shall give way. I am in blood, stepped in so far that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as gore. Strange things I have in head that will to end, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You lack the season of all nature. Sleep.
Come, go to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that once our use. We are yet but young indeed.
Why, how now, Hecate? You look angrily.
Have I not reason? Bedlams as you are, saucy and overbold, how did you dare to trade and traffic with Macbeth in riddles and affairs of death? And I, the mistress of your charms, the close contriver of all harms, was never called to bear my part or show the glory of our art. And which is worse, all you have done hath been but for a wayward son, spiteful and wrathful, who, as others do, loves for his own ends, not for you. But make amends now, get you gone, and at the pit of Acheron meet me in the morning. Thither he will come to know his destiny. Your vessels and your spells provide, your charms and everything beside. I'm for the air. This night I'll spend unto a dismal, fatal end. Great business must be wrought ere noon. Upon the corner of the moon there hangs a vaporous drop profound. I'll catch it ere it come to ground, and that, distilled by magic's lights, shall raise such artificial sprites, as by the strength of their illusion shall draw him on to his confusion. He shall spurn fate, scorn death, and bear his hopes above wisdom, grace, and fear. And you all know, security is mortal's chiefest enemy. Hark, I am called. My little spirit, see, sits in a foggy cloud and stays for me.
Come, let's make haste. She'll soon be back again.
My former speeches had my ear thoughts which can't go farther. Only I say things have been strangely won. The gracious Duncan was pitied at Macbeth. Marry, he was dead, and the right valiant Banquo walked too late. Whom you may say, if it please you, Fleance killed, or Fleance fled. Men must not walk too late. Who cannot want the thought of how monstrous it was for Malcolm and for Donalbain to kill their gracious father? Damned fact! How it did grieve Macbeth! Did he not straight in highest rage the two delinquents tear that were the slaves of drink and thralls of sleep? Was not that nobly done? Aye, and wisely too, for 'twould have angered any heart alive to hear the men denied. And I do think that had he Duncan's sons under his key, as Anthony said he shall not, he shall find what 'twere to kill a father. So should Fleance. But peace. I hear Macbeth was in disgrace. Sir, can you tell me where he bestows himself?
The son of Duncan, from whom this tyrant holds the due of birth, lives in the English court and is received of the most pious Edward, with such grace that the malevolence of fortune nothing takes from his high respect. Thither Macduff is gone to pray the holy king upon his aid to wake Northumberland and warlike Seward, that by the help of these, with him above to ratify the work, we may again give to our tables meat, sleep to our nights, free from our feasts and banquets' bloody knives, do faithful homage, and receive free honors, all which we pine for now. And this report has so exasperated the king that he prepares for some attempt of war.
Sent he to Macduff?
He did, and with an absolute, "Sir, not I," the cloudy messenger turns me his back and hums, as who should say, "You'll rue the time that clogs me with this answer."
And that might well hold what distance his wisdom can provide. Some holy angel fly towards England, and unfold his message ere he come, that a swift blessing may soon return to this, our suffering country, and our hand accursed.
I'll send my prayers with him.
Thrice the grinded cat hath mewed.
Thrice and once the hedge pig whined.
Our Pierre cries, "'Tis time, 'tis time."
Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw. Toad, that under cold stone, days and nights has 31, sweltered venom, sleeping got, boil thou first in the charmed pot. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn, cold and bubble.
Fillet of a fenny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt in toe of frog, wool of bat in tongue of dog. Adder spork in blindworm sting, lizard's leg and howlet's wing. For a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth boil and bubble.
Double, double,
toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubbles.
Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, maw and gulf. Of the raven, sea salt shark, root of hemlock digged in the dark. Slivered in the moon's eclipse, nose of Turk and martyr's lips. Finger of birth-strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab. Make the gruel thick and slab. Add thereto a tiger's chaudron for the ingredients of our cauldron.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good.
Oh, well done, I commend your pains, and everyone shall share in the gains. And now about the cauldron sing, like elves and fairies in a ring, enchanting all that you put in.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks.
How now, you secret black-headed midnight guys? What is it you do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess. However you come to know it, answer me. Though you untie the winds and let them fight against the churches, though yeasty waves confound and swallow navigation up, though bladed corn be lodged and trees blown down, though castles topple on their waters' heads, though palaces and pyramids who slope their heads to their foundations, even till destruction sicken, answer me to what I ask you.
Speak.
Demand.
Will answer.
Sayest thou hadst rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters?
Call them. Let me see them.
Horin sows blood that hath eaten, her 9 Pharaoh, grease that sweaten from the murder's gibbet, broke to the flame.
Come high or low, thyself in office deftly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought. Hear his speech, but say thou not.
Macbeth! 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 Beware Macduff. Beware the thane of Fife. Dismiss me. Enough.
Whatever thou art, for thy good confidence. Thou hast marked my fear right, but one word more.
He will not be commanded. Here is another, more potent than the first.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth.
Had I 3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Lack to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live Macduff. What need I fear of thee? But yet, I'll make assurance double sure and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies in sleep in spite of thunder. What is this that rises like the issue of a king, and wears upon its baby brow the round and top of sovereignty?
Listen, but speak not to it.
Be lion mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirators are. Macbeth shall never vanquish thee until great burning wood to high lessening hill comes against.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest? Bid the tree unfix his earthbound root? Sweet bodements, good. Rebellious dead rise never till wood of Barnum rise. In our high place Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom. But my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this and an eternal curse fall on me. Let me know. Why sinks that cauldron? And what noise is this?
Show.
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 Show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Thou art too like the spirit, Banquo. Down! That crown doth sear mine eyeballs. And the hair. That other gold-bound brow is like the first. A third is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? The fourth. Start eyes. What? Will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet. A seventh. I'll see no more. And yet the eighth appears, which bears a glass which shows me many more. And some with twofold balls and treble scepters carry. Horrible sight. Now I see 'tis true. For the blood bolter bankroll to smile upon me and point at them for his. Why? Is this so?
Aye, sir. All this is so. But why stands Macbeth thus amazedly? Come, sisters, and cheer we up his sprites, and show the best of our delights. I'll charm the air to give a sound, while you conform your antic round, that this great king may kindly say, our duties did his welcome pay.
One thing more. Where are they? Gone? Let this pernicious hour send I accursed in the calendar. Come in without them.
What's your grace's will?
Saw you the weird sister?
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be their whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I did hear the galloping horse. Who was it came by?
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, that sent word that Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my good lord.
Time. Thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The flighty purpose never is o'ertook unless the deed go with it. From this moment, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. And even now, to crown my thoughts with acts, be it thought and done, the castle of Macduff I will supply. Seize upon Fife. Give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. But no more sights. Where are these gentlemen? Come, bring me to where they are.
What had he done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight is madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom! To leave his wife? To leave his babes? His mansion and his titles in a place from whence himself does fly? He loves us not. He wants the natural touch. For the poor wren, the most diminutive of birds, will fight, her young ones in her nest against the owl. All is the fear, and nothing is the love, as little as the wisdom where the flight so runs against all reason.
My dearest coz, I pray you school yourself. But for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further, but cruel are the times when we are prayers, and do not know ourselves, and hold rumor to what we fear, and know not what we fear, but float upon a wild and violent sea. Each way and move, I take my leave of you. Shall not be long, I'll be here again. Things at the worst will cease, or else climb upward to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessings upon you.
Father he is, and yet he is fatherless.
I'm such a fool. Should I take my leave, it would be your disgrace and my discomfort. I take my leave at once.
Sirrah, your father is dead. And what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, mother.
What, with worms and flies?
No, with what I get of it. And so did they.
Poor bird, thou didst never fear the net, nor line, the pitfall, nor the gin.
Why should I, mother? Poor birds they are not set for. For you are saying, my father is not dead.
Yes, he is dead. How wilt thou do for a father?
Nay, how will you do for a husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at any market.
So buy and sell again.
Now God help thee, poor monkey. But how wilt thou do for a father?
Was my father a traitor, mother?
Aye, that he was.
And what is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Everyone that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
And must all who swear and lie be hung?
Everyone that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
So the liars and swearers are fools. For there are honest liars and swearers enough to beat up the honest men and hang them up.
Thou speakst with all thy wit, and yet in faith with wit enough for thee. But how wilt thou do for a father?
If my father was dead, you would weep for him. If you would not weep for him, that should be a new sign that I should have a new father too.
Poor prattler, how thou talkst.
Bless you, fair dame. I am not, you know, though in your state of honor I am perfect. I doubt some danger does approach you nearly. If you will take a homely man's advice, be not found here, hence with your little ones. To fright you thus, methinks I am too savage. To do worse to you or fell cruelty, which is too nigh your person. Heaven preserve you, I dare abide no longer.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm. But I remember now that I am in this earthly world, where to do harm is often laudable, to do good, sometimes accounted dangerous folly. Why then do I put up that womanly defense to say that I have done no harm? What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayst find him.
He's a traitor.
Thou liest, thou shag-eared villain.
What you hag? Young fry of treachery.
He has killed me, mother. Run away, I pray you.
Murder!
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there reap our sad business out.
Let us rather hold fast our mortal sword and strike our breath with them. Each new morn, new widow's howl, new orphan's cry, new sorrow strike heaven on the face, that resounds as in the felt in Scotland, cried out by the soulful jealous.
I believe, well, when no believe in what I can redress, I shall find the time to friend thy will. What you have spoke, it may be so, perchance, but this tyrant's sole name blisters our tongues. He was once not honest, and you have loved him well, but he hath not touched you, yet. I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me is to offer up a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease that angry God.
I'm not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge, on which you are, my thoughts cannot transpose. Angels are bright, though the brightest still, though all things found must wear the brows of grace, and yet grace was still like so.
I've lost my hopes.
Perchance even there, or I did find my doubts, why in the rotten nest left you, wife and child? Those precious motives, those strong knots of love, without leave taking, I pray you, let not my jealousies be your dishonors, but mine own safeties. You may be rightly just, whatever I shall think.
Bleed, bleed, poor country, great tyranny, lay thou thy basest shures, wear thou thy wrongs. The title is afeard. Fare thee well, Lord, for I am not the villain that thou thinkest I am, for the whole space in the tyrant's grasp, and the rich east to boot.
Be not offended. I speak not in absolute fear of you. I think our country seeks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day gashes at its sure wounds. I think with all there would be hands uplifted to my right, and here from gracious England offer up a goodly thousand. Yet I shall tread upon the tyrant's head, or wear it on my sword. But my country will have more vices than it had before, more suffer, more sundry ways than ever, by him that shall succeed.
Wherefore he be?
It is myself, I mean, in whom I know all the particulars of vice are grafted, that when they shall open, black and Macbeth be seen as pure as snow, the poor state will esteem him as a lamb, being compared with my conformist arms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
But I have none. The king becoming graces as justice, virtue, temperance, stableness, bounty, perseverance, mercy, lowliness, devotion, patience, courage, fortitude. I have no relish of them, but abound in the division of each summer grace, acting in many ways. Nay, had I power, I would pour the sweet milk of concord into hell. Abhor the universal peace, confound all unity on earth.
Oh, Scotland.
If one is fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not to live. O nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant bloody scepter, and the greatest issue of thy throne, by his own interdiction stands accursed, to blaspheme his breed. Thy royal father was a most saintly king. The queen that bore thee was more often on her knees than on her feet. She died every day she lived. Fare thee well, Lord, for these evils that thou repeatest upon thyself have banished me from Scotland. Oh, my breast, thy hope ends here.
Macbeth, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped these black scruples. Yet, child above, deal between thee and me, for even I put myself in thy direction. And I am yet unknown to women, never was forsworn, scarcely coveted what was mine own. At no time broke my faith, would not betray the devil to his fellow, and delight no less than truth in life. What I am truly is thine, and my poor country's to command. Now altogether, the chance of our goodness be like our unwarranted quarrels. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things. It's hard to reconcile.
No more none. Come seeking forth, I pray you.
Aye, sir. They're a crew of wretched souls that stay his cure. Though their milady convinces the great essay of art, but at his touch, such sanctity hath heaven given his hand, they presently amend.
I thank you, doctor.
What disease does he speak of?
'Tis called evil. The most miraculous work in this good king, which I have since my he remained in England, I have seen him do. How he solicits to heaven himself best knows. Yes, strangely visited people all swollen and ulcerous, pitiful to the eye. The mere despair of surgery he cures by hanging a golden stamp upon their necks. But holy prayers are spoken to the succeeding royalty, leaving behind a healing benediction of this strange virtue. He hath a heavenly gift of prophecy that speak him full of grace.
See he who comes here.
My countryman, but yet I know him not.
My ever gentle cousin, welcome hither.
I know him now. Good God, what times remove the means that makes us strangers?
Sir, amen.
Stand Scotland where it did.
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave. Dying, or ere they sing it.
A relation too nice yet too true.
What's the newest grief?
That of an hour's age doth hiss the speaker. Each minute teems a new one.
How goes my wife?
Why, well.
And my children?
Well, too.
Tyrant has not battered at their peace?
No, they were at peace when I did leave them.
Be not enaggard of your speech. How goes it?
Your castle surprised. Your wife and babes savagely slaughtered.
Merciful heaven, what man dare pour your hat upon your brow? Give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak whispers the o'erfraught heart and bids it break.
My children?
Wife, children, servants, all that can be found.
I must be from hence. My wife killed too?
I have said.
Be comforted. Let us make medicines of great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children. All my pretty ones. Did you say all? Oh, hell kite, all? All my pretty chickens and their dam with one fell swoop.
Dispute it like a man.
Shall do so, but I must also feel it like a man. Sinful Macduff. For they did not die for their own demerits, but for thine. Oh, heaven rest their souls.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger. Plunge not your heart. Enrage it. This tune goes manly. Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking. The powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
I have 2 nights watched with you, but can perceive no truth in your report. When was it she last walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterward seal it, and again return to bed, yet all this while in a most fast sleep.
A great perturbation in nature, to receive at once the benefits of sleep, and do the effects of watching. In this slumbering agitation, besides her walking or other actual performances, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
You may to me, and 'tis most meet you should.
Neither to you nor to anyone, having no witness to confirm my speech. Lo you, here she comes. This is her very guise, and upon my life,
fast asleep. Observe her. Stand close.
How came she by that light?
Why, it stood by her. She has a light by her continually. 'Tis her command.
You see, her eyes are open.
Aye, but their senses are shut.
What is it she does now? Look how she rubs her hands.
It is an accustomed action with her to seem thus washing her hands. I have known her to continue it a quarter of an hour.
Yet, here's a spot. Hark, she speaks. I will set down what comes from her to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly.
Out! Damn spot! How'd I say? 1, 2. Why then? 'Tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord. Fie. A soldier and a fear? What need we fear? Who knows it? When none can hold our power to account. Yet, who would have thought the old man to have so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? What, will these hands never be clean? No more of that, my lord. No more of that. You mar all with this startle.
Go to, go to. You have known what you should not.
She has spoke what she should not. I am sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known. Yet, here's the smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand.
What a sigh is there. The heart is sorely charged.
I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Well, well, well.
Pray God it may be, sir.
This disease is beyond my practice, yet I have known those which have walked in their sleep, who have died holily in their beds.
Wash your hands. Get on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo is buried. Cannot come out of one's grave.
Even so?
To bed. To bed. I hear knocking at the gate. Come, come. Come, come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed. To bed. To bed.
Will she go not to bed?
Directly.
Foul whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Infected minds to their deaf pillars will discharge their secrets. More she needs the divine in the position. God forgive us all. Look after her. Remove from her the means of all annoyance and still keep eyes upon her. So good night. My mind she has mated and amazed my sight. I think, but dare not speak.
Good night, good doctor.
The English power is near, led on by Malcolm, his uncle Seward, and the good Macduff. Revenge is burned in them, for their dear causes, which the bleeding and the grim alarm excite the mortified man.
Near Burnhamwood shall we meet them. That way they are coming.
Ronan knows of Donald Thane with his brother.
For certain, sir, he is not. At the file of all the gentry. There is Seward's son, along with many unrefused, who even now protest their first to manhood.
What does the tyrant?
Great Dunstan he strongly fortifies. Some say he's mad. Others who lesser hate him do call him valiant fury. But for certain, he cannot buckle his distempered cause within the belt of rule.
Now does he feel his secret murder sticking on his hands. Now minutely revolts upbraid his faith breach. Those he commands move only in command, nothing in love. Now he feels his title hang loose about him like a giant's robe upon a dwarfish thief.
Who then shall blame his pestered senses to recoil and start, when all that is within him does contemn itself for being there?
Well, march we on to give obedience where 'tis truly owed, and with him pour we in our country's purge, each drop of us.
Or so much as it seems. To do the solemn flower and to drown the weeds. Make me our march towards Burnham.
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all. Till Burnham would remove to Dunsinane, I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences outpronounce me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall ever have power upon thee. Then fly, false things, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt, nor shake with fear. The devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced loon. Where got's thou that goose look?
There's 10,000.
Geese? Villain?
Soldiers, sir.
Go prick thy face and overread thy fear, thou lily-livered boy. What soldier's patch? Death of thy soul. Those linen cheeks of thine are counselors of fear. What soldier's way-face?
The English force so please you.
Take thy face hence. Seaton! I am sick at heart when I behold. Seaton, I say! This push will cheer me ever or to seat me now. I have lived long enough. My way of life is fallen into the seer, the yellow leaf, and that which should accompany old age, as honor, love, troops of friends I must not look to have, but in their stead curses. Not loud, but deep. Mouth honor which the poor heart would fain deny and dare not. Seaton!
What's your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All is confirmed, my lord, that which was reported.
I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me my armor.
It is not needed yet.
I'll put it on. Send out more horses. Scurry the country round. Hang those that talk of fear. Give me my armor! How does your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick-coming fancies that keep her from rest.
Cure her of that? Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased? Pluck from the memory a rooted sorrow? Raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet, oblivious antidote, cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart?
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physic to the dogs on none of it. Come, put mine armor on. Give me my staff. Seaton, send out. Doctor, the thanes fly from me. Come, sir, dispatch. If thou couldst, doctor, cast the water of my land. Find her disease and purge it to a sound and pristine health. Pull it off, I say! What rhubarb, senna, or what purgative drug would scour these English hence? Hearest thou of them?
Aye, my good lord, your royal preparation makes us hear something.
Bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death and bane till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane.
Were I from Dunsinane, away and clear, profit again should heartily draw me here.
Cousins, I hope the day is here to end and chambers will be safe.
We doubted nothing.
What wood is this before us?
The wood of Burnham.
Let every soldier hew him down a bough and bear it before him. Thereby shall I shadow the number of hosts to make discovery ere and a port of us.
Shall be done.
We learn no other, but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane and will endure our setting before it.
'Tis his main hope, for an advantage is to be given both more and less give him the revolt. For none serve with him but constrain things whose hearts are absent too.
Let our censures attend the true event and put we on our industrious soldiership.
The time approaches that will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe. Thoughts speculative, their unsure hopes relate. But certain issue strokes must arbitrate, towards which advance the war.
Hang on our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still they come. Our castle's strength will laugh at siege to scorn. Here let them lie, till famine and the ague eat them up. Were they not forced with those that should be ours, we might have met them, dareful, beard to beard, and beat them backward home. What is that cry?
It's the cry of a woman, my lord.
I have almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been, my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek, and my fell of hair would add a dismal treatise, rouse and stir as life were in it. I have supped full with horrors. Direness familiar to my slaughterous thoughts cannot once start me. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creaks in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
Gracious, my lord, I should report that which I'd say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham, and anon, methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Let me endure your wrath if it not be so. Within this 3 mile you may see it coming. I say, a moving grove.
If thou speakst false, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive, till famine cling thee. If thy speech be sooth, I care not if thou dost for me as much. I pull in resolution, and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not till Burnham wood do come to Dunsinane, and now a wood comes toward Dunsinane. Arm and out. If this which he avouches does appear, there is nor flying hence nor tarrying here. Ring the alarm bell. Blow, wind. Come. Rack. At least we'll die with harness on our back.
Now fear not. Throw down your leafy shades and show like those you are. You, worthy uncle, shall with my cousin, your right noble son, lead our first battle. Macduff and we shall take upon what else remains to do, according to our order.
Fare you well. Do we but find the tyrant's power here tonight? Let us be beaten if we cannot fight.
They go up, trumpets speak, give them all breath. This cleverest harbingers of blood and death.
I cannot fly, but bear like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one am I to fear or none.
What is thy name?
Thou wilt be afraid to hear it.
No, though thou callest thyself a name harder than any that is in hell.
My name is Macbeth.
The devil himself could not pronounce a title more harmful to mine ear.
No one more fearful.
Thou liest, the poor tyrant. With my sword I'll prove the lie thou speakest.
Thou was born of woman, but swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn brandished by man that's of a woman born.
Hear the noises, tyrant, show thy face! If thou be slain by no stroke of mine, then my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. Either thou, Macbeth, or my sword with an unbattered edge I sheathe undeeded. Let me have this fortune, and more I beg not.
This way, my lord. The castle is gently rendered. The tyrant's people on both sides do fight. The noble thanes do bravely in the war. The day itself almost professes yours, and there is little to do.
We are met with those that strike beside us.
Enter, sir, the castle.
Macbeth! Ah! violated thee. But get thee back. My soul is too charged with the blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword!
Thou losest labor. As easy mayst thou me entrench in error and press as make me bleed. Let fall thy sword on vulnerable crests. I bear a charm in life, which must not yield to one of woman born.
Spare thy charm. Let the angel thou hast served tell thee that Macduff is from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Accursed be that tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. And be these juggling fiends no more believe that palter with us in a double sense. They keep the word of promise to our ears and break it to our hopes. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward, and be the showing gaze at a time, and we'll have thee, as our rarer monsters are, painted upon a pole and under writ. Here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse. Though Burnham would become to Dunsinane, and thou oppose, being of no woman born, yet I will try the last. Before my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on Macduff, and damn be him that first cries home. Enough.
And would the friends we missed were safe arrived?
Some must go off, but by these I see, a day so great as this is cheaply bought.
Macduff is missing and his noble son.
Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He lived the life of a man, but like a man, he died.
He's dead then?
Aye, been brought off the field.
Had he his hurts before?
Aye, on the front.
Why, then God's soldier be he. Had I as many sons as I have hairs, I would not wish to them a fairer death. And so his knell is knolled.
He's worth more sorrow than us meant for him.
He's worth no more. They say he parted well and paid his score. And so God be with him. Here comes newer comforts.
Hail thee! Behold the usurper's cursed head. The time is free. I do ask that you all salute with me. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail, King of Scotland!
We will not spend a large, expensive time before we reckon with our several loves, make us even with you. My thanes and kinsmen henceforth be earls. The first that ever Scotland is in this honor named. What's more to do, which would be planned to do at the times, is calling home our exiled friends abroad, who fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth this cruel ministry of this dead butcher, whose fame my queen accessed not by self and violent hand took off her life. This and what needful else that calls upon us by the grace we will perform at measured time and place. So thanks to all at once and each one whom we invite to see his crown of stone.
Hail, King of Scotland!